Hello, good evening. I'm Ajit Jha, the editor of the Public Global and CEO of Power Pixar. And today we are going to make a blog on Bihar because I'm traveling through Bihar, and a recent pre-poll on popularity ratings just was announced yesterday. And according to that pre-poll, Tejashwi Yadav, the RJD leader and son of Lalu Prasad Yadav, has emerged as the most preferred candidate for Chief Minister of Bihar. Number one, Tejashwi Yadav. Number two, Prashant Kishore. And number three, Nitish Kumar. Now, this is really something that one needs to pay attention to. Let's look at what percentage of people have actually preferred Tejashwi Yadav. By the way, let me tell you that this is a C voter poll, and what it tells you is that Tejashwi Yadav's popularity at this moment for the chief ministership of Bihar is at 35.5. Now, that is about 5% or 6% less than his popularity ratings as CM at the time about 2 months ago in February. So in February, it was 40.6 to be exact. And right now, it has dipped to 35.5. But he is still the number one most preferred candidate for CM of Bihar. And remember, the elections is 6 months from now. It's scheduled for the months of October and November. So that gives Tejashwi Yadav enormous amount of bounce in this campaign period that is going to follow in the next 6 months. Now let's look at the other candidates. The other candidates are a lot less. Although Prashant Kishore is the second most preferred CM candidate, but his popularity is merely at 17.2. So that is half of the popularity of Tejashwi Yadav. Tejashwi Yadav, as I pointed out, is 35% plus. It was 41 in February. So Prashant Kishore is a mere 17.2, a slight increase from his popularity, which was 14.9 in February, slight increase, but he's still half of Tejashwi Yadav's popularity. And what about Chief Minister Nitish Kumar? His popularity has dipped again. It was 18.4 in the month of February, and now 2 months later, it's 15.4. So obviously now we know that if it was a pure presidential election in Bihar, then Tejashwi Yadav would have won. Or if it was, let's say, a proportional representation following from these numbers, then again Tejashwi Yadav would have been the chief minister. So would have been an easy kind of a victory. But that's not how elections are done. This is a mere popularity rating. Now, Tejashwi Yadav might be very popular, but it is possible that Prashant Kishore is cutting his votes. And we have not even talked about the BJP, because the problem with the NDA is, although Chief Minister Nitish Kumar is verbally, all leaders have said, oh, we are going to campaign under the leadership of Nitish Kumar, but he's NDA has not declared Nitish Kumar as their CM candidate. But the Mahagathbandhan, which is RJD, Congress, the left parties, And now another group which has joined that, it's called the VIP. That also all together, they have selected Tejashwi Yadav as the chief ministerial candidate. So therefore, part of the popularity is because of that. He is the face of the Mahagathbandhan. Nitish Kumar is not the face of the NDA, because the BJP is playing this what we call the hide and seek game. When Amit Shah comes, or when let's say some other leader from BJP will arrive in Patna, then they'll all say yes, yes, we'll contest under the leadership of Nitish Kumar, but they have not gone ahead and declared him as their CM candidate. And the inside story is that the BJP wants their own chief ministerial candidate, but then they don't have, as I keep arguing in the past, the BJP doesn't have a very popular leader inside the party. And even if they do, the BJP, when it selects a CM candidate, they might end up bringing someone who no one knows at all, as we have seen in several states, including Rajasthan, including Madhya Pradesh now, even Chhattisgarh and other states. Even in Orissa, they just picked up someone who you would have never heard of. So let's then just talk about what is causing this popularity of Tejashwi Yadav. And is it going to help the Mahagathbandhan in this big fight with the NDA for the Bihar polls? Now, I feel there are 4 or 5 factors which is causing this popularity of Tejashwi Yadav. One is a long time anti-incumbency. After all, Nitish Kumar has been chief minister. He is the longest serving chief minister of Bihar, and he has been chief minister for almost 2 decades. I mean, 20 years, of course, in that for about a little over 1 year, he had Manjhi as the chief minister. He had himself stepped down and brought Manjhi. But then later on, Manjhi was removed and Nitish Kumar came back. But he's certainly the longest serving chief minister. So there is, despite the fact that Nitish Kumar has brought about some kind of development in Bihar, and Bihar is not today what it was, let's say, 20 years ago. When I move around, I see the roads are much better, electricity is better, there is drinking water available, may not be more than 1 or 2 hours, but in the villages, but at least it's there. So there has been some kind of development. But having said that, there is anti-incumbency. Education is a disaster. Health is quite a disaster. Other issues like unemployment is crazy. People are not getting jobs. A typical problem all over the country, but it gets magnified in Bihar because it is one of the poorer states. And migration of students, of labor. In fact, you go to the villages right now because it's a marriage season. So at least some people have come, but just about a week, sort of last week, for example, the entire villages looked deserted. Why? Because the entire male population shifts into cities like Bombay, Delhi, all over the country. And therefore, the Mahagathbandhan, especially the Congress party, has made these 2 issues the main issues at this moment. One, out-migration, and number 2, unemployment. They are bringing, they have created an agenda which they are focusing on these 2 issues. And yes, it is touching a base with the crowds. And as a result, one reason why Tejashwi Yadav's popularity has shot down from 41 to let's say about 35.5% right now. The reason is that 6% dip is because of the Congress party's gain. So yes, the Congress is slowly sort of recovering ground. But then again, if you remember the percentage vote of the Congress in the past, it was somewhere around 9 to 10%. So the increase is rather modest, but there is, however, some increase. But that increase, hopefully, if the alliance comes out properly, the Mahagathbandhan alliance, although they have declared, Tejashwi Yadav as the chief minister, but the issue of seat sharing still remains. Why? Because this new party, as I pointed out, the Mr. Saini's party, as it is called in Bihar, uh, he has already asked for 60 seats. In fact, he's one of those floaters who moves from one group to the other. They need him because he represents the most backward castes, but he has asked for 60 seats. So obviously, I don't think the Mahagathbandhan is in a position to give him 60 seats. In 2020, they had given 70 seats to Congress. Of course, the Congress had only won 19 of those. And already they were beaten. The RJD felt that they were conceding too much to the Congress. So if the Congress ends up getting even 70 as 2020 elections, then the VIP party cannot sort of get 60 seats. So this is going to be a bone of contention. The fight for the number of seats between the players. There is going to be a similar fight again inside the NDA between BJP, JDU, and the two, other players, Chirag Paswan in this case, his party, and at the same time, Mr. Manji. So there also you have these four groups contending for, seats, and there'll be some fight. In this case, Chirag Paswan's uncle, Mr. Paras, he has switched sides this time, and he has ended up joining the Mahagathbandhan. Now, how many seats will he get? That is, of course, an open question. But all these issues still remain. The distribution of seats, will the transfer of votes be sort of perfect? Because if that doesn't take place, then votes are wasted, then the other party wins. Now, what is in favor of Mahagathbandhan? A, Tejashwi Yadav as the most preferred chief ministerial candidate. I have already discussed. The anti-incumbency is helping him, especially as I pointed out, large-scale unemployment, out-migration, even inflation and other issues. But what is really helping the entire Mahagathbandhan is the fact that somehow there is a mood for change in the state. The fact that even Prashant Kishore is rising a little bit, others as well. So people want change. Nitish Kumar's government has been there for 2 decades. So people want change. Now, if that change is frittered away, if that gets distributed, then again, it's possible that NDA might win. But given the fact that in 2020, the difference between the Mahagathbandhan and the NDA was a mere 12,000 votes. In fact, Tejashwi Yadav was almost on the verge of becoming a chief minister. He just missed it. So if that again happens this time, then the NDA ends up winning. But right now, if you ask me, with this poll, with the mood for change in the state, I feel that Mahagathbandhan is having an edge. Now, from 24th, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is coming. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is coming to Madhubani. And he is going to have a very large sort of gathering, not only his lecture, but much more. He has a meeting with all the mukhyas of the panchayats of almost, large parts of North India, which is basically 3 regions they are called. or basically two regions, Mithilanchal, Kosi, the river, and Simanchal. If you add that up, this is a very large chunk of North Bihar. And that is where the BJP is trying to gain ground in a massive way. Prime Minister Modi's function, where he's going to meet the various mukhias, they are going to come up with lots of programs. Patna is now going to have on the 24th, Prime Minister Modi is going to inaugurate a new airport in Patna. I have seen the building. It looks kind of impressive. I did not go inside, but from the outside, it looks impressive. Beta nearby, about 40 kilometers. Beta is famous. Most people know it who study history, because Swami Sahajanand Saraswati had started his movement from Beta. The Beta ashram looks wonderful. I just visited the ashram recently. So Beta is going to have another international airport. So Patna, Beta, and then there are other airports. In Darbhanga now you have an airport. In several other smaller towns, in Dumka, for example, you have an airport. There are new airports coming up all over. Focus is on development, as I said, roads and water, electricity. Now airports coming up. And recently, the industry minister, his name is, by the way, Nitish Mishra. He's from the BJP, and his father used to be a famous chief minister of Bihar, Dr. Jagannath Mishra. He was the Congress chief minister several times. So his son, Nitish Mishra, a very smart young man. Perhaps if someone were to ask me who should be the chief minister from the BJP, I would have recommended Nitish Mishra. He's a very, very soft-spoken, bright young man. He studied in England in the University of Bath, and he understands development. He has he had anchored a very big program on industrialization of Bihar. I'll have another video on that, exactly the details of it. But they have come up with great ideas, and enormous amount of MOUs have been signed. Top industrialists in the country are pouring money. Now, how much of this will go and into the ground, and how much of it we will see, that will take time. But I will have, as I said, promised you a separate program on that, and maybe I'll try and interview Nitish Mishra. But there are development happening all around, but yet on the ground, as I said, there is fierce anti-incumbency, and that anti-incumbency is causing, as I said, the popularity of Tejashwi Yadav. Now, also someone might point out that Tejashwi Yadav, RJD, has a bank of support. We all know, I don't need to repeat it, that the My coalition, the Muslim Yadav coalition itself, is very large, and large section of the Dalits have joined it because the Congress has made a fresh intrusion among the Dalits. Of course, as I said, Chirag Paswan and Manji are with the NDA, but then there are other castes and subcastes within Dalits, and many of them are sort of getting attracted by the Congress's new focus on the caste survey. So the caste survey, 20% of Bihar is Dalit voters, by the way. So the caste survey is helping the Congress, and the Congress is making that a massive agenda: caste survey, reservation, and all of those, which again I have discussed in the past. I'll discuss further in more details in another video. But as things stand today, the Mahagathbandhan seems to be having an edge, which is getting reflected in this popularity rating survey of Tejashwi Yadav as the most preferred candidate, Prashant Kishore a distant second, and Nitish Kumar somewhere near Prashant Kishore a distant third. So the difference between the second and the third is not that much, but the difference between the most preferred candidate, Tejashwi Yadav, number one, and two and three is a lot. So Tejashwi Yadav right now is the most preferred candidate for CM of Bihar. I'll end here. Thank you very much. We'll make many more videos for the Bihar campaign. I'll travel all around the state and give you sort of different kinds of pictures from different parts of the state. But it is going to be a fiercely competitive election, the Mahabharat, which will set the tone for the rest of the elections next year. Thank you.